This Shabbat is we begin Sefer Devarim. It's also called Shabbat Chazon. It's the Shabbat preceding Tisha B'Av, and the reason why it's called Shabbat Chazon is based on the Haftarah that we have this week, special Haftarah, which is the third of the Tilta de Pranuta, which starts off with Chazon Yeshayahu, the first few psukim in Sefer Yeshayahu, when he's giving very harsh chizuk to Klal Yisrael to repent, and it's a very, very heavy, sadder haftarah this week. And chazon literally means a vision, and the Mefarshim explain that the reason why it's called is because this is what Yeshayahu foresaw. He saw what Klal Yisrael is going to have to go through the galut, through the long galut that we're in now, and Yeshayahu was able to see that. That's the lashon of chazon, be able to see that and be able to basically warn us that if we don't repent, this is what's going to happen. And he was able to sort of tell the future, and this is what we're going through now when we don't have the Beit HaMikdash. Is the difficulties that we have in Galut is basically mentioned in the Haftarah, and it's a sad week, even though it's Shabbat, but it's still a heavier week. We're beginning Shul Shachalbo on Motzei Shabbat. And it's definitely a week of introspection, a week of thinking, especially during the brachot, Tishkon b'toch Yerushalayim Yerecha, to think about Et Tzemach David Avdecha, think about Mashiach, think about Yerushalayim. These types of brachot, a person has to put a little extra kavanah and a little time to think before Tisha B'Av, not only on Tisha B'Av, but even before Tisha B'Av, the next few days, if a person hasn't done it already, to start getting into the mode of what's of the days of the year that we're in now, to really come into Tisha B'Av properly. Hopefully we don't have to have Tisha B'Av, but if we do, we come in with a proper mindset. Given that said, we have a few halachot that we have to keep in mind. We have to remind ourselves, today is the last day for the Sfaradim to get a haircut and to shave. Next week, no haircuts, no shaving, as we discussed yesterday. It's also because next week begins Shvosh HaChalbo, there's an Isur of laundering, which we didn't talk about too much, but we'll mention it quickly now. The person's not allowed to do laundry. In general, there are a few exceptions, but in general, a regular person shouldn't be doing laundry. And a person is also not only not allowed to do laundry, he's not allowed to wear freshly laundered clothing, which means that he has to, today, before Shabbat, preferably, because Shabbat it becomes a problem, pachana. There's a way to do it on Shabbat also, but if he can avoid that, it's better. Today, a person should wear a few pairs of clothing that he's planning on wearing in the upcoming week. It's a long week. It's not only one day next week. It's not like Tisha B'Av is on Sunday. Tisha B'Av is on Wednesday night, Thursday. So you have almost a whole week, 5 days of clothing that you need to wear. Also Tisha B'Av itself, you cannot wear freshly laundered clothing, obviously. So it's the whole week, starting from Motzei Shabbat until Thursday night. The person has to prepare the amount of clothing, has to think, what is he going to be wearing, and wear it for an hour, take it off, put on another shirt, take it off, and get the freshly launderedness out of it. And in order for it to be considered not freshly laundered clothing, okay, so that would be going for the pants, for the shirt. There's a discussion about undergarments. If a person is able to, that's definitely the best thing. But he has what to rely on if he doesn't do it for the undergarments. The undergarments you can wear mamash fresh. You don't have to wear. Really? Yeah, there's a machloket about that, but a person can be lenient if he needs about with the undergarments. If he's not able to put it on off. Doesn't have time, and it's going to be too much of a tircha. He can be lenient with the undergarments, but for everything that the person is not, besides the undergarments, a person has to make sure he's wearing it and preparing himself for the upcoming week. So this is just a few halachot to keep in mind, and B'ezrat Hashem we should have a beautiful Shabbat. All the restrictions of eating meat during the 9 days and chicken during the 9 days on Shabbat is lifted, and therefore a person is able to partake in meat and wine and everything like that on the Shabbat. There's no restriction on that, but at the end of the day, it is Shabbat Chazon, so a person has to keep that in mind, bear that in mind while we're enjoying the Shabbat.